before proving my blood, I swear I will kill my death. These lines said by Captain Manoj Kumar Pandey belongs from those army which is known for its bravery and experience. Yes friends, I am talking about Indian Army and my today's lecture topic is the same. Friends, if we talk about the Indian Army's formation, it was held in 1895, around 125 years ago from now, by the East India Company, and these army personnel served in all over the world to ensure the victory of the British Army. And after the independence of India, they set their own ways to fight with it. Friends, if we talk about right now, around 12,37,000 soldiers are serving for the Indian Army to ensure the country's security. Along with around 9,60,000 the reserve personnel are also here. Friends, Indian Army is the largest standing army in all over the world. Its motto, like service before self, shows that how they are working selfless for the country to ensure the peace for the people of the nation. Friends, if you talk about the different wars fought by the Indian Army, these were in 1948, 1961, 1965, 1971 and 1999 with the Pakistan, and in 1962 with China, and 1967 a small conflict in which we got huge massive victory. Even in the recent conflict with the China showed that the power of Indian Army by the Bihar Regiment. Friends, if you talk about the rank structure in the Indian Army, it starts from the NCO, JCO and commission ranks. In NCO, there is soldier, then Lance Nayak, after that Havaldar, after that JCO ranks start Naib Subedar, Subedar and Subedar Major. If we talk about in the commission rank, these starts from the Lieutenant, Captain, Major, Lieutenant Colonel, Colonel, Brigadier, Major General, Lieutenant General and then General. Friends, Indian Army's field formation is quite different. If we talk about it, starts from the section, then platoon, then company, along with regiment, also battalion, brigade, division, corps and command. Here are 7 commands of Indian Army in all over the India, which are secures the land boundaries from the different areas. If you talk about in the northern area, here is a command that is known as the Northern Command in Udhampur. In west, it is situated in Chandi Mandir. In southwest, it is situated in Jaipur. In east, it is situated in West Bengal, in Kolkata. In center, it is situated in Lucknow. In south, it is situated in Pune, Maharashtra. And also here is a training command which is situated in Himachal Pradesh, Simla. Friends, if we talk about the modernization program of the Indian Army, it is in its zenith, because like we are acquiring different kind of rifles. We have signed a deal of AK-203 deal, which is going to be manufactured in India in Amethi. Along with we have signed a deal of 72,400 676 rifles, and after then another batch of 72,616 rifles. Then another term, if you talk about Negev, 15,000 rifles, LMGs we have ordered from the Israel. To secure the air areas, we are acquiring S-400 from the Russia. Along with we have different kind of tanks, which T-92, T-70, T-55, which are ensuring in all the areas where it can be used. DRDO is also working on the light tank to ensuring in the safety on the line of actual control. Friends, if we talk about another things which is going on, we have missile technologies like Prithvi missile, Agni missile. Along with subsonic missiles, do we have supersonic. If you talk about BrahMos, which is the most dangerous missile in all over the world. Along with if you talk about right now, we are also changing the structure of the Indian Army, like we do have Chief of Defence Staff right now, along with integrated battle group, which is going to be set to fight with any enemy country. In the mountainous regions, we do have special scouts which ensures the victory over that areas, and we have the most allied force, that is special forces, which do covert and overt operation time to need. So at last I want to conclude my point by saying that yes, we do have different kind of armies formations which ensures the victory, and they are working together to spread peace in all over the world. Indian Army never starts the war but ensure that it will finish the war. Thank you. That's all. Jai Hind.
A very good evening to everybody present here. Today's topic for the lecturate is Indian Armed Forces, and I'm going to talk about the Indian Navy. So the Indian Navy is a very important part of our armed forces. Out of the 3 armed forces, Indian Navy is mostly has its command in the southern part of the country, that is in the peninsular region, and the main objective of Indian Navy is to secure our maritime interest. If you talk about the Indian Navy, right now we have 67,000 personnel who are active in the Indian Navy. And talking about the establishment of the Indian Navy, it was established in the year of 1916 by the East India Company, which established the forces in order to secure their trade. But later, the Indian Navy was given to the people of India after the independence, after which the Royal Indian Navy was named to the Indian Navy. If we talk about the Indian Navy Day, that is on the 4th of December. It is a very important day for the country as well as for the Navy, because on this day, it was not that the Indian Navy was established, but Indian Navy successfully completed its operation, was successful in its operation. That was the Operation Trident, which was a secret operation against the Pakistan, and it was very important. It played a very crucial role in the 1971 war. If talking about the Navy, then the Indian Navy has three main commands. That is the Southern Command, the Western Command, and the Eastern Command. The Southern Command is also known as the Training Command, and it is in the headquarters of the Southern Command is in Kochi. Talking about the Western Command, then the Western Command headquarters is in the Mumbai, and it has various bases there as well. And Eastern Command headquarters is in Visakhapatnam. We also have one more command, which is the Andaman and Nicobar Command, which is a tri-command where all the three forces are actively participating to secure a maritime interest. So the main objective of the Indian Navy is not only to protect the borders of the country that we share through the oceans, but also it also helps in various relief operations, especially during the floods and the tsunami. Also, Indian Navy plays a very major role to establish good relationship with the other neighboring countries. And recently, if we see, the Indian Navy had participated in the event in the South China Sea along with the various other countries such as the USA, the Japan, and this was to be done in order to show China that it is not the only force which is active in the sea, in the South China Sea. Now talking about the various vessels in the repository or in the inventory of the Indian Navy, then we have various vessels, such as we have the large vessels, we have the smaller vessels, we have submarines, and also Indian Navy has a separate aviation branch as well. So the aviation branch, main role of aviation branch is to secure the sea, to do a surveillance over the sea, and to fight through the sea. So if we talk about the aircraft that we have by the Indian Navy, then these are the Dornier aircraft which are used for the surveillance. Then we have the PI aircraft. We also have the combat aircraft, that is we also have the combat aircraft, that is the MiG-29K, and along with this we have the supporting aircraft such as the Dornier, which I already mentioned is for the surveillance. Then we have the P-8I, which is also a surveillance used for surveillance as well as for combat as well. And there are various other helicopters which are also used for the relief operations, such as the Cheetah, the Chetak, and we also have the very important and the newly included helicopter, which is the Sea King, that is which is a US made helicopter. Then talking about the ships, we have the aircraft carrier, which is one of the biggest vessel in the repository of the Indian Armed Forces. And along with this we have frigates, we have the other we do not have cruisers, but we do have destroyers as well. We have submarines, out of which 2 submarines are nuclear headed submarines, which is a very new again a very new addition to the repository of the Indian Navy. Along with this we have the Marcos, which is the special forces of the Indian Navy, which participate in various operations. And let me tell you, the training of the Marcos is one of the most difficult out of all the 3 forces. So Talking about the recent acquisition and the recent development of the Indian Navy, so slowly Indian Navy is trying to upgrade itself in terms of technology and bring a technological reform in their unit. Talking about there are recent acquisitions of various armaments, various missiles, which will help Indian Navy to become a blue water navy, that is the navy which can operate away from its base as well efficiently. Along with this, Indian Navy is also participating with the other countries to secure its borders, to secure its oceans, such as especially it is very active in the Indian Ocean region, and along with this it has also set up surveillance radar in the Maldives, in the Sri Lanka, to secure and to get information of the any kind of transit that happens in the Indian Ocean region. So along with this, I would like to say that with recent development and with the increase of technology in the Indian Navy, it will be efficiently able to secure our borders in future and become a true blue water navy. Thank you.
Sparsham Deeptam, which means touch the sky with glory, is a motto of Indian Air Force, and it has been doing the same. It has been bringing glory and touching the limitless sky since its inception. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today I am here to share my views on the topic Indian Air Force. Indian Air Force, as you all know, that it was established on 8th of October 1932, and since its inception it has been doing the significant contribution, be it World War II. So in 1945, after its contribution in World War II, Britishers named it as Royal Indian Air Force, and the royal prefix was removed in 1950 after India became Republic. So it has been doing it has been carrying out various operations and actively participating in the warfare. So be it the 1947 India-Pak Independence War, be it 1962 Indo-Sino War, 1965 again Indo-Pak War, or 1971 liberation of Bangladesh War, or be it the Kargil War. Indian Air Force has always proved its superiority, and it is always supporting the other two arms of Indian Armed Forces in carrying any other operations or missions. And apart from aerial warfare, reconnaissance, and many other operations, it is also carrying out surveillance, humanitarian assistance, and patrolling, and many others. So I would like to say that there were many operations which were carried by Indian Air Force. Few of them to name are Operation Safed Sagar, which was carried out during the Kargil War to protect the Tiger Hill, and Operation Vijay, which was to evade Goa and Daman and Diu from Portuguese, which has been ruling, which has been having control over it since last 450 odd years. And Operation Poonmalai for the Tamil Tigers, LTTE, Liberation of Tamil Tigers in Sri Lanka, and many more operations. So it has been significantly working towards a humanitarian aid also. For example, we can see that the Operation Rahat was carried out in 2013 during the Uttarakhand floods to rescue and evacuate people from Kedarnath. It was the biggest humanitarian aid rescue operation which was carried throughout the world, and it rescued almost 20,000 people. And apart from that, the wildfire extinguishing that was done in Uttarakhand and many parts of Himachal. Apart from that, the operation, humanitarian operation, or the Insaniyat operation, which was carried out in South Sudan during the civil war in 2017, and to rescue the people from there. And now coming to the various operations and functional units of Indian Air Force. So basically there are 7 units, 5 of which are operational and 2 are functional units. So the 5 operational units that are the Central Command, Western, Eastern, North and Southwestern, they are located at Delhi, Shillong, Allahabad and Gandhinagar and Trivandrum, and 2 functional commands. One is in Nagpur, the maintenance, and another is in Bangalore, that is the technical. So Indian Air Force, as you all know that apart from the operations it carries, now coming towards the aircrafts which it is owning. Few of them are Sukhoi 30 MKI, which is air superiority aircraft, and the other one is the Rafale, the 36 Rafale deal which we have signed with France. It is a multi-role aircraft with and the other one is HAL Tejas is there. Then we have MiG-21, MiG-27, MiG-29, and Jaguar is there, and Mirage 2000 is there, and many others. Now coming to towards the helicopters, we are having Chetak, Chinook, Cheetah, which are procured from France and are indigenously built. And apart from that, we are also having the AVAX system, the refueling aircraft, transport aircraft, and also the UAVs, drones, and many others. So there are other missile systems such as air-to-air missile, air-to-surface, or surface-to-air, and many other. So at last, to conclude, I would say that Indian Air Force is doing its significant contribution to protect our airspace, and it is doing its best, and yeah, that's all. Thank you.